Hello, everyone, and welcome today. Today, we're going to be speaking on the Band Aid versus the cure. And this is going to be a really great episode, intense. I'm doing this both on YouTube and the podcast at the same time. So please excuse any little, struggles and mishaps. So, as always, make sure that you go to hectorsalva.com where you can go ahead and sign up for your newsletter, as well as find the blog, all our articles, podcasts, social media, where you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram at Hungan Hector. So, and you can hear this podcast if you're listening to us on the podcast on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. And if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, you're going to want to subscribe there. If you haven't checked out the podcast, you're probably going to want to subscribe there because every once in a while I do something or the other that just goes one to one or the other. So the podcast, the Band-Aid versus the cure, that's the topic today. So a lot of people out here are looking for what's known as spiritual Band-Aids versus the spiritual cure. This actually causes a lot of issues and a lot of problems. Spiritual Band-Aids are wonderful solutions when they're appropriate solutions. Just like in life, there are certain situations or scenarios that require more than just a Tylenol, more than just some, a Band-Aid, a little bit of antibiotic cream, more than just a little bit of over-the-counter medicine. And a lot of situations or scenarios are actually composed of these larger situations that require more than just that. A lot of people are out here seeking the Band-Aid, unfortunately, not realizing that in seeking the Band-Aid, you just keep yourself seeking forever more the Band-Aid, like more and more Band-Aids. And it doesn't really resolve or get to the root of the situations or problems that you're dealing with in your life. And you'll end up dealing with them again and again and again and again. Many people out there that are healers and spiritual workers are actually people out there who may be good people or with good intentions, but their capacity does not exceed being able to just give a Band-Aid. Basically, they can't help you more than just giving you a Band-Aid. And they themselves may not even understand the nature of the illness or that a cure really exists and may not have gone through the cure themselves. When you're dealing with a lot of issues in your life, a lot of issues that have been going on for a very long time, or issues that are going on over and over and over again, repetitive cycles, these situations require deep healing work from a proper spiritual surgeon. Really, that's what it comes down to. And a proper spiritual doctor, in a sense, to be able to go ahead and really resolve for you. Otherwise, you're just attacking things from the top. You're just giving yourself topical medicines that may make things feel better for a short period of time, or may make some improvement for a short period of time, but you'll find yourself in those problems again and again, and you'll find those problems showing up or becoming even worse. Sometimes Band-Aids, spiritual Band-Aids, basically serve to kind of cover up the wounds and the illness, and it covers it up and it actually allows the illness to fester and get worse. Unfortunately, a lot of people think the Band-Aid is the cure. And so because they believe the Band-Aid is the cure, they can't basically resolve. They can't be resolved, and they will keep dealing with the same situations over and over and over, but things are slowly getting worse and worse and worse. This is because underneath the surface, the illness is still going on worse and getting worse and worse and worse. This is what it's the same as if you've had a physical illness and you're taking medicines to cover up the headache and the fever, things of this nature, but you're not really dealing with the illness that's in your system. It's not going to really improve. In fact, it probably will get worse, even though the symptoms may feel better, it'll just be being covered up. Unfortunately, I find this all too often, way, way, way too often. And many people use spirituality in a way that's not deep and in a way that doesn't go in deep to really heal and resolve and truly, truly make clear, heal, and resolve. Instead, they work with band-aids. And because they get that quick sense of relief, just like if you have a headache, but if you're really having a headache because it has a root cause in your system, such as, you have some type of tumor going on, the Tylenol or the ibuprofen or whatever that you're taking is going to take the headache away and it's going to take the edge off. It's going to take the pain off. You may feel better for some time, but underneath there, that tumor is festering. And this happens all the time. And that headache medicine may make you feel better for some time and continue as long as you continue taking it. And it'll wear off and then you'll have to take it again. Right? So there's a really, really deep spiritual healing that comes through with our Sanskrit work, mystical Sanskrit, that actually provides this deep resolution. There's a deep life awakening that has to happen in order for true resolution. However, there's many deep healings that are really intense, but have to happen at the level of your core in order for you not to be ill, dealing with constant issues or issues in which you're constantly applying band-aids. There's many, many band-aids, as I said, and so I want to cover a few of those. Magic, cleanses, constant magic, constant offerings, constant need to do services. All these types of things can act as a form of magic, covering up what's really underneath, act as a form of band-aid, better said, covering up what's really going on underneath. No one should have constant need of these works on the regular basis. These should be things that should happen at times when they're needed in certain scenarios or situations. But if you're constantly needing all these things, then there's something out of balance and out of whack, and something that a deep healing that really has to occur on a core level of your being. But not everyone is going to be able to provide this to you. In fact, many people out there who are going around doing spiritual work are not yet having gone through those processes themselves. And they're deep, intensive processes because they're going to radically shift and change your life. They're going to break you from limitations. We're going to break you if you come through us. We're going to break you from limitations. We're going to provide you your peace and your freedom and your energy back. It's going to be really intense. But out of those situations, you'll break out of those hamster wheels, going round and round, getting nowhere. A lot of people spend a lot of time investing themselves in band-aids rather than in the cure. And it's because of that sense of immediate relief. But fast come, fast go. That's how we say fast come, fast go. So that relief goes away and then you're back at the same. So it's really important to get down to a deeper level in which we're really working on the core level of who you are, and what you're bringing forward, what's coming through you in this life that's causing you to constantly go through these issues. But like I said, many healers, their hearts may be in the right place, their intentions may be semi in the right place. They may intend well, but they may not have gone through or know how to provide this unto you. And so then you find yourself relying on band-aids and things that keep you stuck because it's just covering things up. And like I said, there are times where there's necessary. Sometimes you just have a headache, and that's when it's time to just go ahead and take some headache medicine. Sometimes it was just some ish that happened that causes you that you needed some medicine. Other times, however, it's actually something deeper that's going on. And I will say that most other times, it's something deeper that's going on, right? But there are times where the band-aids, the over-the-counter medicines, are what should be applied. And we work things in a really special way. And if you work with us, you'll end up going through these things in a really powerful, special way where you get both, where you really get to experience like the beauty of like getting everything. But that's a whole nother video. So the point is that if real spiritual growth is not happening, if that real deep spiritual healing that's needed is not happening, okay, and you're doing lots of spiritual things on your end, you're doing lots of things on your end, and these shifts and changes are not occurring for you, and you're still stuck in a very chained and trapped world, and you're existing in a very small way rather than in the totality in the way that you want to exist, okay, there is the true secret solutions to that, but it doesn't come through a whole bunch of doing what you've been doing. And it's funny because the definition of crazy, right, is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. But this is often what people do because just out of not knowing, really, not knowing any better, not knowing or not having access to, not being able to get to a properly, I'm not going to say proper so much, but, a well-developed elder spiritual worker, healer that's really going to be able to really create that transformation and that shift so that you're not going through the cycles, so that you're free, so that you're not like experiencing life the way that you're experiencing it, basically crappily. So the band-aids can help. But like I said, there's many band-aids. If you're finding yourself having to constantly cleanse, constantly, there's something happening on a deeper level that's not being dealt with or resolved. If you find yourself under constant attack, same. If you find yourself constantly dealing with certain love problems or money problems, same. And the funny part is that resolving it really starts with you. And the power is there for you to take that step in getting this resolved. It is resolvable. We've had tons of people come through here who are relying on band-aids and get totally resolved, right? We had a scenario not that long ago with someone, with one of my clients who came in because of exactly that. You know, she had been doing tons of cleanses. She had altars. She was serving her ancestors. She was doing all kinds of great things, right? She was trying so hard. She was being more grateful. She was doing all these things. She was cleansing her space, herself, all these things. And Mariella couldn't basically get ahead. Everything was still blocked up, stuck, stagnant, constantly feeling attacked, constantly having issues with others. Basically, life wasn't working how it should. And she struggled, and she went to different places, and different people helped her learn how to apply more band-aids and take more cleanses and do more things. And some of it helped a little bit, and some of it made things worse a little bit. And eventually she was at the point where she just had to stop, and she had to look around and be like, you know, I'm not that much further ahead than I was before. I'm actually worse off. And what had happened was all those things underneath had festered and had grown worse and worse. And a lot of things had deteriorated that at one time weren't that bad. And so she came in, and we were like, yeah, like this is totally not you. This is not how things should be for you. And told her everything that was going on with her. And started to work with her and really get her the deep spiritual healing, the deep life awakening, healing and power and secret way that we have to work with her. Right? And then basically love and relationships started to open up for her. Things in her job improved while we were working with her. She actually got a promotion while we were working with her. She got a promotion while we were working with her. She moved while we were working with her. She like created all these wonderful changes while we were working with her. In the very process itself. Like we hadn't even finished. And these things had already occurred for her. And now she's experiencing having a relationship for herself that works and is really blossoming for her. And she's in a really great space where her life basically just 4 months ago was like a total different world. It was like hell in comparison to the paradise that she's currently living. She's got a boo. She got herself her job. Everything's functioning. Her household is functioning. She's feeling better. She's energetic. She has life in her again. She's not zombified moving around. So these are some of the real differences that occur when you actually apply the cure and get deep down into what really needs to be resolved with a elder spiritual healer who knows how to work with this, right? Band-aids, like I said, are good and they can help. They can help sometimes. They can help sometimes you're down and out on your luck, right? And sometimes when the situation is just that, a little tiny situation where it's just like, here, use some over-the-counter medicine and it's healed, it's resolved. But like I said, many of the issues are not of that nature. So if you find yourself in this situation where you've been dealing with things like this, like Mariella did, or like many other people who come here and have a total different life in just a few months, from working with me. Like, if you find yourself in these situations, contact us. We're here to help. And let us know, like, basically, hey, contact us, and we'll lead you through what needs to happen, because really life is not meant to be a situation with constant issues, constant problems, lack of peace of mind, lack of happiness, lack of joy, lack of success. That's not how life is meant to be. You're meant to have some issues and problems sometimes. Yes, that's what's normal. It happens, but not on the regular occasion. Your life shouldn't feel like one big drag. And even if things are going good, like, they shouldn't feel that way. And things should be in a way that's really smooth and balanced and flowing for you. And you can't really be happy if you know that, which deep down in your core, you know that, and that's not how you're experiencing your life. So contact us, help at mysticalwork.com, help at lifeawakeningcenter.com, and we'll lead you through what needs to happen so that you can have peace, energy, freedom, success, and these other things in your life, which everyone should have. So, as always, keep the faith, stay safe, and make sure that you check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. And check out my blog at hectorsalva.com, where you'll find all the free stuff.